Hi, welcome back to Race Metal. Exciting news today as we have our first bike to review. And like this pasta, it's just right. Please meet the Beach Club Al Dente, an aluminum gravel bike made in Italy, and according to them, it's slightly stiffer and slightly faster than the rest. It's built from high-end aluminum Dedachai tubing, and it promised to deliver with its lightweight and fast geometry. Mine came in this green colorway that I have named Al Pesto, and this is the bike that I'll be taking to Southern California to race the Belgian waffle ride. I'm here at Sincere Cycles in Santa Fe, New Mexico to chat with owner Bailey Newbrey as he builds out Al Pesto. He's a super strong cyclist and has had a huge influence on me personally and on the Race Metal series. We're going to talk about metal versus carbon bikes, sustainability in the bike industry, and the challenges of racing metal nowadays. All right, let's go inside. So let me introduce you, Bailey Newbrey. Am I saying that right?
Yep. I am the owner of Sincere Cycles in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Shop just turned 5 years old a couple weeks ago. Some of you might know me from bike racing escapades via Tour Divide, bikepacking races, that sort of thing. Also just a regular old guy in the bike industry on the day-to-day basis here in the shop.
Perfect. Just to give a little bit of context, when I wanted to find a new gravel race bike, I came to Bailey and asked him, hey, I don't feel like buying a carbon bike. What are my options out there? Is there any other options besides carbon? And that's when this whole conversation started about picking metal over carbon in the racing world. I think I just want to get your thoughts on what are the cons and pros of, racing a steel, aluminum, or even titanium bike over a carbon? What do you think?
Yeah, some of the primary difficulties in racing metal bikes is finding a race-oriented metal bike. And that was one of the biggest things that Miguel and I ran into when we first started these conversations. We are at a point in the bicycle industry wherein most manufacturers are full-on carbon bikes, frame, fork, wheels, and anything in between. When it comes to race-oriented stuff, few and far between are we seeing any aluminum, titanium, or steel bikes manufactured that are actually aimed at high-performance racing.
But we have found a couple. We have our first one here in the shop. Bailey built it for me, and it's light, it feels fast, and I'm gonna race it soon. The other question that I came to Bailey, it was, as a cyclist, what can I do besides choosing a metal bike to be more sustainable, right?
I think choosing a metal bike is obviously one of the big things. Carbon fiber bikes do not break down when that bike eventually is decommissioned, either for breakage or no longer fitting standardized parts or whatever reason. So they just sit in a landfill and don't break down and cannot be recycled into anything. I think the other thing in choosing the metal bikes is that, generally speaking, that bike will be around a fair bit longer. I think one of the biggest things that the cycling industry can do to be more sustainable is to move away from everything being dictated by a model year. I think to that end with the carbon bikes and things, people talk about dream bikes very often. This is my dream build, but in that dream build, dream bike realm, the forever bike has gone away, which used to be quite a common phrase in the cycling world. You bought your extra Corsa Eddie Merckx and you were going to have that for 20 years and pass it down to your children and keep that one rolling. To that effect, those bikes are still out there. People are still buying them. That really shows the value in these metal bikes. They are a very useful tool. Just the bicycle in general being the most efficient form of human transportation that we have ever created, yet we've complicated it to the point of making this immensely efficient tool and vehicle unsustainable is so silly and the antithesis of what I believe a bicycle should be.
Should these big bike companies strive to be more sustainable or to build bikes, metal bikes, for people like me? Are there enough people?
I think it is a growing market. I think we've seen a lot of shifts in the bike industry over the past few years, and I think there are more people who are starting to make similar thoughts and considerations as you've had towards having something that is more sustainable, something that you can actually have around for a while. Something, and I love how you said, a bike that you can have a relationship with, something that you can grow with. I'm encouraged to see more of these smaller brands, more bikes like the Beach Club Al Dente and things like that coming out. Generally speaking, the way the industry follows trends, I would not be surprised to see more companies start jumping in and getting on board with like actual true race bikes that are made to last and made to be around for a while. But I am encouraged by more small brands popping up who are putting a value on that type of product.
I love what you said about small manufacturers being trendsetters, basically.
Absolutely.
I just want to say that you've been a huge influence on this series. A lot of the conversations that we had at Bailey's shop here at Sincere Cycles really bubble up stuff in my head to like start this. And yeah, just excited to share this journey with you guys. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for doing this series. Thank you to the Radavist for hosting it. I hope it gets some ideas percolating. We aren't going to be changing the world here, but if we make a couple of strides in the right direction, and heck, even if a couple of those bigger companies did start to take notice and made a couple of moves, then I'll feel like we did a good thing. And even if that doesn't happen, I still think it's a conversation very worth having.
Yeah, I agree with that. Check out Bailey's shop here in Santa Fe if you're ever around. He's also a very strong runner.
Come on down for your cycling and running needs.
See you guys on the next episode. Thank you again, Bailey.
Thanks.